So we got some pretty interesting news for you guys, including a free pet for Genshin Impact players, the release of Gran Saga in South Korea, and Chronicles of Elyria is apparently back in development. Hello everyone, my name is Solomon SK for Coffee and RPGs, where we cover the latest news trends and updates for the MMO and RPG gaming genre. We do have a lot of articles to go over, so if you guys got your cup ready with your beverage of choice, I'm drinking coffee. Let's go over these news together. Cheers to you guys.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you!
So let's go ahead and get started with a few articles from PCGamer.com, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with this, and it says here that beloved World of Warcraft cosplayer, Jarod Nandin has died, and yeah, that's the guy that cosplayed the World of Warcraft player from the South Park episode. And I can tell you that he actually died from COVID complications, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. It's just such a huge wake-up call for all of us, you know, going through this right now. And so yeah, Jarod, if you are watching this from above, for what it's worth, cheers to you, my friend. I hope you guys continue to stay safe out there and just continue to take precautions, because again, you know, these days you just never know in times of uncertainty. And in their next article, it says here that Everspace 2 comes to Steam and GOG on January 18th. The open world space shooter was supposed to arrive in December, but was muscled out by Cyberpunk 2077, along with the whole pandemic that we've been having that pushed back so many games from 2020 alone. But all in all, the developers did say that they do plan on keeping Everspace 2 in early access for about 18 months and finally release a complete product sometime in the first half of 2022. And you might be asking yourself, why am I covering a this space sim, you know, fighting game with ships and stuff like that? Well, this game actually has a lot of elements of RPG in it, matter of fact. Stereotypically, when you think of role-playing games, I get it, you think of somebody like a character that you could customize and spend your attribute points on, but in this case you could do the same, but you do it with a ship this time around, and I think that's really cool. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's a very beautiful looking game, and I was able to play a demo that they provided during TwitchCon 2019, and yeah, I'm very excited about this game, and I'll definitely keep you guys posted when we have more information. And here's a game that I didn't think I'd really talk much about but in their next article it says that Neverwinter's next expansion returns to some of its first zones. Sharandar brings players back to the spooky forests and elven strongholds of Neverwinter's early days, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. But it does go on to say that the free-to-play MMO Neverwinter, which is set in the popular Dungeons & Dragons campaign world of the Forgotten Realms, it's called Sharandar, and it'll take players back to the Elfie woodland areas introduced in the original Neverwinter expansion, Fury of the Feywild, only this time around it's going to be revamped and revisualized. And so it looks like it's also going to be an upgrade for the game as well. It probably could use a visual upgrade just because this particular MMO is actually fairly older than most. And in their next article, it says here that Path of Exile 2 is most likely coming in 2022. So the folks over at PC Gamer was able to get an interview with studio head Chris Wilson about the game. And it says here towards the bottom, when asked for clarification about whether Path of Exile 2 would probably launch sometime in 2022, Wilson said, yeah, I think that's accurate. And the reason why is because, again, the whole pandemic that's been going on around the world that pushed it back. But you also have to remember, New Zealand is fairly small in comparison to other countries, and they completely closed their borders, so it's very difficult for them to kind of hire people with certain skills that they need from other places around the world, which hampered development of Path of Exile 2. So we're still going to get the Echoes of Atlas expansion, which is launching on January 5th, and it says here that it's set to bring a bundle of new environments to the game's expansive endgame, several using assets from the sequel, along with some new bosses evoking Path of Exile's 2 new aesthetics. So you'll still be able to get somewhat of a preview with this expansion, which is always nice, but definitely going to have to wait just a little longer for the sequel to come out. Alright, so let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit and head on over to massivelyop.com. And the first article here says that Gran Saga launches in South Korea on January 26th, which I think is pretty awesome, but I'm really hoping at the end of the day that they also localize this game for the Western shores, because as of right now, it's still only in South Korea. Now, they did release a trailer along with the announcement, and it says here that they've also added a new video showing off 2 of the game's gameplay modes with contained co-op skirmishes against bosses and monsters in both smaller and larger settings. So I have it playing right now, and honestly, it looks pretty cool. I'm very excited about this game. If you're somebody who's been looking for very similar things to Genshin Impact, but with a more online presence in an MMO form, then this game might be for us. But again, unless you know how to speak Korean, my Korean sucks, so I won't be able to play this game anytime soon unless they localize it here for us. But I'm hoping, one could only hope, but definitely keep you guys posted as we get more information. If this particular episode has a theme or some sort of weird message, it's that there are a bunch of MMOs out there that are being developed that I've never heard of, and this is definitely one of them. In their next article, it says that Fioresia Online, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, is an open world MMORPG with farming, housing, questing, and castle conquering. And it goes on to say hello to Fioresia Online, an in-development open-world MMORPG that promises a variety of things for players to do, like housing, farming, questing, battling monsters, and conquering castles to grow influence and wealth, all played in a 2.5D art style that can be best described as a South Park character or South Park characters in LARP armor. And judging from the trailer that I have playing right now, yeah, actually that's a fair assessment of the game. Although I will admit I'm not a huge fan of the sort of chibi style that they got going on, but in any event, it's a game that I'm still willing to try because I still might be pleasantly surprised. It's still a sort of a format and done in a way that I've never really played before in an MMORPG, and so that of itself just makes the game truly unique from your stereotypical MMORPGs out there that's already out in the market. So that being said, I am definitely looking forward to at least try it out just to see what's up. And lastly, it says here that according to its Steam page, the game is set to release sometime in 2021. So it could be soon, it could be by the end of this year, who knows? But in any event, it does look like a charming little MMORPG, so yeah. And another MMORPG that I've actually heard of this, but I just haven't really covered it in a very long time, so I'm very glad that Massively OP covered it. And in their next article, it says that Voxelbox MMO Elteria Adventures revamps starting chapters, adds new items, and hair dyeing. And it goes on to say that it's describing itself as a colorful, aesthetic MMORPG with focuses on creativity and freedom thanks to its Voxelbox features like modifiable, buildable, and destructible environments and some of the most adorable foes that we've ever heard of. So yeah, just playing the trailer that I got going on right now and looking at it, there is some cuteness to it. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's definitely catered towards a certain demographic that, hey, why not, you know? So at the end of the day, I definitely will have to check out this game too, just because it's so drastically different from some of the other MMORPGs out there in the market that I've said before with the previous game. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. Again, not necessarily my cup of tea, but if this is something that you're looking forward to, let me know down in the comment section below of what type of features and parts of the game that you enjoy the most. Sorry, really quick, in its Steam page, it is saying that it's eyeing a early release in February as well, so that's around the corner. And in their next article, Black Desert brings Nova's Awakening and Secession and latest update to the PC and console. And I'm not going to really go over a whole lot. I've actually done a dedicated video covering sort of my 2 cents on whether or not you should go Awakening or Secession. And so I'll have a link to that down in the description below or in the form of a cards in the upper right hand corner. But if you don't see that cards, I just haven't gotten around doing it because I usually sleep while the videos upload because there's only so many hours in a day. So yeah, definitely check it out if you are somebody who plays Black Desert Online. And again, sorry to sound like a broken record player, but another MMO, even if it's not necessarily my cup of tea, again, as I stated before plenty of times, in their next article here, it says Gemini Station is a text-based sci-fi MMO where you can play from anywhere. And it goes on to say that Gemini Station is a browser-based MUD that can be accessed via computer or mobile device. It puts the player in a role of a space jockey who is trying to make his or her way around the cosmos in a variety of ways. It's a bit like classic privateer with real-time travel between planets and a complex economy. Now, this is a style of gameplay where it probably cater more towards people who like to read or just older MMO veterans out there who first started playing these type of games back in the 90s, you know, and yeah, people would just play games, or MMOs rather, based on text because, I mean, the bandwidth from the 90s and the 80s weren't all that great. Sometimes all you could really send out is just bits of information in the form of text and just kind of let your imagination play wild. But anyways, I digress. If this is something that you're looking forward to, let me know what it is about MUD-based games that you are excited about. And in their next article, it says that upcoming MMO SEED's playtest video is unbearable. I'm guessing it has to do something with bears in there. But at the end of the day, this is another MMO that I just wanted to quickly let you guys know that is in development. As far as I can tell, this is an MMORPG that is also trying to get away from the status quo where you set up a colony. So it's very similar to a survival MMORPG, but it does have a fixed camera in an isometric sort of play style. They've even hired psychiatrists to kind of give them an insight as to how people would react given certain circumstances. They've also added political elements to the game as well, where people could form tribes and groups and stuff like that. So if that's something that interests you, you definitely have a game coming your way to look forward to. I'm not exactly sure when this game will be coming out, but just wanted to let you know in case you never heard of this MMO. Well, now you heard of it. Let's continue on with MMORPG.com, and the first article here says that Chronicles of Elyria blog updates players on art direction and communication. And it goes on to say that with a new year in full swing, Soulbound Studios answers some Chronicles of Elyria questions about what they've been working on and what backers and potential players can expect out of the 2021 development cycle. Now, the lawsuit is still going on. There's still a bunch of players who crowdfunded the game that is looking for a refund, and as of right now, it hasn't been settled. I think there's still ongoing litigation, but at the end of the day, it looks like they're still trying to make this game, which is always nice. But at the end of the day as well, if you're somebody who wants their money back, I could completely understand that as well. So it's just kind of a mess right now. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it. Me personally, I haven't backed it. I know Kennethan, my co-host for the MMORPG Trinity show that we do, has, and I'll just leave it as that. And to all you Blade and Soul fans out there, this is a game that I've definitely wanted to go back and play, but again, there aren't enough hours in a day. In their next article, it says that Blade and Soul celebrates 5th anniversary on January 13th and brings events and more. Not really a whole lot to talk about here other than the fact that they're bringing back, you know, your stereotypical celebrations in the form of dailies and quests and other events as well. But they've also did a partnership with Alienware and Chronicles so that you could actually get a new gaming rig and battle station, as they put it, if that's something that interests you. And we got one article from GameRant.com, and it says here that Genshin Impact is giving players a free pet during its Lost Riches event. And this event will go from January 8th today, as of recording of this video, until the 18th. And this is my personal opinion, but I think a lot of this is in preparation for the 1.5 update that the game will be releasing probably sometime by the end of this month, in my opinion. And we got one article from GameSpew.com, and it says here that Outriders has been delayed, but a demo is on its way. I'm actually looking forward to this one. I haven't really played a whole lot of looter shooters out there, and this is definitely a game that might be able to fill that void. But it does go on to read here that Outriders is a third-person shoot-'em-up with RPG elements created by People Can Fly, the same team behind Bulletstorm, and published by Square Enix. It was set to be released on February 2nd, but was announced by the Outriders team that it's now going to be arriving on April 1st instead. I don't know if that's just an April Fool's joke or something like that, but definitely prepared for maybe a few jokes here and there on that day. In any event, this is a game, like I said before, that I'm looking forward to play, and definitely keep you guys posted as we get more information. And just really quick, in their next article, it says that expect free, quote-unquote, free Cyberpunk 2077 DLC in early 2021. I know I'm a little bit late to the news. This is something that a lot of you already know by now, but we actually don't have a whole lot of information as to what the new DLC might might even look like. But just be on the lookout definitely for all you Cyberpunk fans out there. I tremendously enjoy the game, despite what people have been saying on the internet of how much it sucked and all the bugs and blah blah blah. Like, I immensely enjoyed this game, and there were nights where I just couldn't wait to play it again, because the story, the way it played out, the character development, it just made me really care about the world and the characters that I met in a way that I haven't felt in a very long time. And so, in my opinion, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 gets an A+ in my book. And really quick, we go on over to Gematsu.com for one article here, and it says that Saviors of Sapphire Wings and Stranger of Sword City Revisited new features trailer has been released. And yeah, if you're into that sort of dungeon crawling, sort of old school 2D gameplay aesthetics and style, this is definitely for you. But yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Next, we got an article here from altchar.com, and it says that Guild Wars 2 will discontinue Mac OS support, but it's not entirely their fault. So the support for the game will end on February 18th of 2021, but it does go on to say that namely it was Apple who ended the support for OpenGL graphics technology on Mac OS back in 2018, and this is the tech that Guild Wars 2 uses to run those on the computer. On top of that, the Mac computers will be designed with a new chipset in mind, which will cause further problems with compatibility, which will make support very costly and difficult for the studios. And so, but luckily your account, if you do play this game on the Mac, it won't be deleted, it won't be erased or anything like that. It's cross-platform, so if you do end up getting a PC, or maybe even play it through GeForce Now, if you have that, that's an alternative that you could utilize if you still want to continue to play the game. And lastly, I completely forgot about this game, but DC Universe Online is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and it says that Daybreak Games announced its 10th anniversary celebration, and I think they meant to say and, not nad, and its scope in the DC Universe Online, which makes it the biggest one in the game's history. For whatever reason, I thought this game went down offline. I thought it no longer existed, but I was clearly wrong. But yeah, if you're somebody who played this game long ago and looking forward to go back, well, here's your chance to do so with some pretty awesome celebrations. And that concludes today's episode of MMO and RPG news, updates, and commentary. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, and if you feel as though I've earned your subscription, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it. Again, everyone, please stay safe out there. Let's make 2021 better, although it's been pretty crappy so far. But anyways, everyone, I will finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.